ओमज्ञानति ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपतिकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सायं ललिता तं सजीवं
Raghunatham Vitam
साधवेदं
Tam Sajivam
साधवेदं
Sadhavaitam Savadutam
साधुतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावतांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा नमो नमस्तुते
Radha Kanta Namastute
तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिय
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
Namo Namaha
नमः
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama
राम
Rama Rama
राम
Hare
राम
Hare
हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone again. So, last time we discussed about a little bit about Govardhan Puja, a little bit about Damodar Leela, and we discussed why is the Damodar this month called as the Kartik month. Does anyone remember? Maybe instead of Kahoot today, I will ask questions to everyone. How is that? We will ask a question, and we won't have an official Kahoot. We will just ask some questions from last few times. And let's see in real time what I can get answers. Okay. So first question is, why is this month called as the Kartik month, Kartik Mas? And one person and then next person will get the chance. So Lisa wants raised her hand, so she can try first.
Cause it's the time when Ram killed one of the demons. I forgot the demon name, and he came back to the Ayodhya, and
Yes, very good.
and it was still dark, and there was no moon. Instead, all the people in Ayodhya, they welcome him with the diyas.
Okay, so that is the reason we celebrate. Which function do we celebrate because of what Lisa just said?
I think I remember.
Ananya, go ahead.
Diwali.
Yes, very good. So that is the celebration of Diwali happens because of what you just said. That is the day of Deepavali or Diwali that just happened last week, right? So that's why people, burn crackers that day or basically diyas and for that celebration. And it is almost like a new year starts around that time. So, so that's the Diwali. There are a lot of other functions that happen during this month of Kartik, but my question was not that. My question was, why is this month called as the Kartik Mas? Ananya, actually, is it anyone else know? No, okay. Ananya, go ahead.
It's where Yashoda ties Krishna, and I think Damodar means Kartik.
Okay,
No.
so what you said is partially correct because you said because Yashoda tied Krishna, that is why it is called as Damodar month. Okay, because Dam means rope and Udar means belly. So this is what we discussed, the Damodar Leela last time. And this month is called as the Damodar month because of that.
Four
So
factors.
that is the Damodar. But where does Kartik comes? Where does the name Kartik, where does that come from? Okay, Sareen.
Because we do puja to Radha Rani.
Yes, this is the closest answer we got till now. That is, this month is very dear to Radharani and we pray to Radharani. And one of the names of Radharani is Kritika.
Kartik.
So her name is Kritika and she likes this month. That is why this month is dear to all devotees. We called it as the Kartik Mass. Okay. So we will do today also again, just like last time, we will do lamp offering to Yashoda Damodar picture at the end of the class today, so that at least today with Damodar Ashtakam we can do the lamp offering. It is Krishna has given us so many things. Everything is that we have is given because of Krishna. Because who here lives in a house? Everyone lives in a house, right? Okay. So whose house is it?
Hours.
It's your house, right? How did you get the house? How was it made?
By builders.
By builders. So builders made the house, and because your parents paid for it, so it's the house is yours. But how did they make the house? From what?
Materials.
Materials. Okay. Where did they get the materials?
From the workshop.
From
From
the
natural.
workshop.
From
Okay.
natural.
And where did the workshop get the materials from?
From another
Outside.
type of builders.
From another builders. But somewhere it has to come now originally.
From the warehouse.
From the actual resources which are provided by Krishna, right? Everything is made up of the five elements. Anyone knows what are the five elements? Five gross elements? Everyone can say one. So, Sareen, you can start.
Water.
Water is one of the five elements. Lisa, do you know any other element?
Nature.
Not one of the five elements, but all are natural elements. Ananya,
Fire.
fire. Okay, so we have got two, water, fire. Tanay,
Oh. Air.
air. So water, fire, air. Sanvi or Darsh, do you know? Or Navya has raised her hand. Navya, go ahead.
Earth.
I can't hear you. Repeat again.
Earth.
Earth. Okay. Water, fire, air, earth. One more is left. Does anyone else know? What is the last one?
They already said air.
Okay, Lisa.
They already said fire. Wait a
Okay.
minute. Let me think about it. Can I just wait?
So there are five basic elements that everything is made up of, including our body.
Huh?
So that is air, water, fire, earth, and ether. The fifth one is ether. So what does ether means? Ether means everything else, everything other than what we just said is actually ether. So it's like vacuum in space, right? Um, so that is called as ether. So everything is made up of these elements. So the house that we are living in may be built up of stones, of wood, of concrete, of glass. There are so
Um.
many things that go into it, but eventually all that is provided from nature. Some we have used the elements that are in the nature, and the builders took that and somebody processed in a certain way to make cement. We bought it from the factory, eventually we got that, and then somebody put it in together in such a way and the builder made it. Now, just like when the builder makes it, does the house become his because he made it?
No.
No, right? Because you paid for it, your parents paid for it, so it is your house. The builder is just using the materials to put it together and get a payment for it. Just like that, in the bigger picture, actually everything that we own is provided from Krishna. So we are just using it during this lifetime, right? It does not become ours. Because after 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, what will happen? We will no longer be using this house. Somebody else will be using this house, right? So it is Krishna's property originally. If somebody, some house gets destroyed in fire or whatever, then it actually goes back to the earth materials, into air, fire, water. Our body is the same way. Our body is also actually not really ours. It is just composition of different materials that we are using in this life for, let's say, 100 years. I'm the proprietor of this body. And when I say I am the proprietor, it is the soul. The soul is the proprietor of the body. And when the soul moves from one body to another, then we leave the previous body back and then go to the next body. Okay. So there are five gross elements that we talked about, and there are three subtle elements. Okay. So what are the three subtle elements? Okay, Sareen had his hands up first. Go ahead, Sareen.
Solid,
So what?
solid,
Solid. Okay, so we are talking about states of matter. So there are different states of matter. We are not talking about material elements. Material elements are these five. So be it solid, be it liquid, be it gas, it is made up of one of these five things. That is, earth, water, air, fire, ether. Okay, so that is the different states the matter is in. It could be one of the three different states. I'm talking about there are three subtle elements when we talk about, and those are the subtle elements that go from one body to the next, which means that after I die, this body, I will, this body will be useless. Once one dies, then this body is of no longer use. And we burn it, or different people, different religions, they dispose of the body in different ways. In Christians, they may bury it, and so there are different procedures people do. But eventually, let's say a body is burnt, then it becomes ashes and goes back to the ground. So they, fire, ether, everything goes back to the five basic elements we talked about. Then what is carried from one body to the next? Those are the three subtle elements. Okay. So those three subtle elements are, this is a little higher information from Bhagavad Gita. This is mentioned all in the Bhagavad Gita. And those are mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay.
What is it?
Those are three things that go from one body to the next. So this is all this information is given in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That is knowledge about the soul. So so everyone knows the pretext of Bhagavad Gita? What is happening in Bhagavad Gita? Okay, can somebody summarize for me? Sareen, go ahead. Why don't you tell me what is the pretext of Bhagavad Gita? What is going on in Bhagavad Gita in 2-3 minutes?
so the Kauravas were against the Pandavas because the Kauravas were evil and the Pandavas were good. So then they were fighting in a war called Mahabharat. In Kurukshetra,
Kurukshetra.
Kurukshetra, they were fighting, and then Krishna was on their side. Krishna and the Pandavas were um, Yudhishthir, Arjun, and their five brothers, and then the Kauravas were Duryodhan and his 100 brothers and the gurus. They were fighting against each other, and Krishna was um, the driver of the chariot in for Arjun's chariot. They were
Okay.
fighting, and on the Kauravas lost the Mahabharat. And
Okay.
then
So very good summary. Good job. Um, so um, so yes, you said it
Bhagavad
very
Gita,
nicely.
in Bhagavad Gita, before the war, Krishna talked about how to get out of this material world.
Okay.
What?
So you said most of the things, you put it out down nicely. I'll just reframe it just a little bit. So you summarized it really nicely. So there were two cousin brothers, two sets of brothers from with a, the common father had two sons, and sons of the Pandu king were the five Pandavas, and son of the um, Dhritarashtra were the 100 Kauravas. And then they were fighting amongst each other for the kingdom, which was the Bharatvarsha. And Kurukshetra is a place where they finally had a war after many wrongdoings by the Kauravas towards the Pandavas. They decided to finally have a fight, and the Pandavas were all great warriors. They had many kings on their sides. The Kauravas had, many people on their side. Just like that you learn about World War I, World War II. This was actually the biggest war in the history, called as Mahabharat. There were thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of people on each side actually, and they had this great war. Now, before even when the war started, Arjuna, who is the main fighter for the Pandavas, he he was in a dilemma of whether he should fight or not, because the people on the other side were actually his relatives, his cousins, his uncles, his grandfather, his guru. So all those relatives and people he knew, and even the people of the country, so many people would die in this fight. So he was under this dilemma whether to fight or not. And his charioteer was Krishna, who is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, he knew a little bit about Krishna being the Supreme, but not very clearly before this. He didn't realize that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead before Bhagavad Gita. He thought, well, Krishna is a friend. He's a very great person. He is a very, very nice person, very powerful, very magical. Has always has the good things, good for the people in mind and all that. But he did not know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And what is the magnanimity of Krishna? That all the universes, this is just one universe, one small earth, one world, and in that some kingdom that they were talking about. But he did not realize how big the Krishna is, who has many, many such universes under his control. And not only that, this whole material world, which has many, many universes, is nothing in front of the whole all the things that are there, because this is just the material world. There is then also the spiritual world, right, which is three times bigger than the material world. So, and the original person, Govindam Adi Purusham, the first person, is Krishna. So he didn't realize all that. But he was smart, and he actually submitted to Krishna and asked him to become his guru and teacher, and asked him very humbly, with humility, to guide him for that what is to be done in a dilemma. So that is how we should be when we are in a difficult situation, when we have a dilemma in front of us, we are not sure what to do. We should ask our superiors with humility, ask our parents with humility, with ask our teachers with humility as to what is to be done, and then we will be guided to the right path. So that's the best thing Arjuna did, was he asked Krishna, and he just didn't actually ask other people. There were many other people over there, but he asked the most important person of all, which is Krishna. So he asked Krishna about, there are many details about Bhagavad Gita. We can't, of course, go through all of them. Um, but there are many practical applications that we learn from Bhagavad Gita about day-to-day life, right? So Krishna tells a lot of things. It is Bhagavad Gita is called as the manual of life. When you get a new, let's say, fridge or TV, does it come with a manual? Right? It comes with a manual that, okay, how to use this particular object, particular laptop or particular computer or whatever, this TV, what are the features, what is it made up of, in terms of, there's a remote that you can use, there is a power cord that you have to plug in. So it tells you about various things about it, and it tells you about if something goes bad in it, this is the procedure what you should follow, right? Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is like the manual of life, that how are we now, we have got this life, now we have got this body, yeah, now we have these relationship, we are born in a family, we have parents, we have brothers, sister, we have friends. What is the right way to use it? Because if we do not use this body in the right way, in the right with the right in the right way that the manual tells us to, then we may end up breaking the uh, breaking the rules which we are supposed to follow for that particular, um, in this condition, the body, or otherwise, let's say you're using a washing machine and you use it like a oven, you follow the manual of a oven for a washing machine, will you be able to utilize it? No. You will mess it up, you will press the wrong buttons, eventually things may even break down, the machine may not work. So things will go bad if you use the wrong manual. So that is why it is important to use this right, correct manual, which is the Bhagavad Gita. And then if somebody says, well, yes, that's a lot of knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, but how would I know? I need to know some examples. How did people actually use this knowledge, or how is it practically used? So where would you get that knowledge if you want to know practical examples of how people follow the Shastras and Bhagavad Gita, and where would you get examples of that? Okay, Ananya and Lisa, both of you have your hands up. I don't know if it's for this question or from the last question, but if you know the answer, you can answer.
This question.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Okay, me?
Yes, go ahead, Lisa.
Or can you say the question again?
So the question is that the manual of life is Bhagavad Gita. Now, that is a lot of theory. Where can you find practical examples of how people follow, or practical examples where you can get information about how people in the past followed these principles?
Mm,
That is,
Bhagavad Gita.
no,
The 12 cantos.
12 cantos of,
Bhagavad Gita.
not
Srimad
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Hari Bol. So yes, so that is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with examples of how different devotees throughout the centuries have followed the path of devotion and have made their life perfect. Do we have examples now? What you have been reading in the Krishna book is actually a part from Srimad Bhagavatam. You have been listening about stories of Krishna, and that is all mentioned in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is just summarized in a short form in our Krishna book that we are reading. So to know from actually how Krishna acted and how people acted with him, and the things like that. So there are a lot of practical examples to learn from Srimad Bhagavatam about how to conduct ourselves in this life. Ramayana is also mentioned as part of Srimad Bhagavatam, but there are two main epics in our scriptures. Our scriptures are very big. There are many scriptures that we have, right? Of them, the initial scriptures are, what are the initial scriptures that we have? First one, first knowledge that was given of scriptures was to Lord Brahma. Okay, that is the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam actually mentions it, that first in the initial, in the before all the worlds, all the universes were created, Lord Brahma got this knowledge in his heart from Krishna. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kaviye Muhyanti Yat Suryat. So that's part of the first canto, first chapter, first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam that mentions this, that initially Brahma got this knowledge as the, any guesses? Four? Okay, Ananya?
Because he has four-headed.
Okay, he is four-headed, but there is something else that is four in scriptures.
The Vedas.
Yes, Hari Bol. Very good, Asher. So there are the four Vedas. And what are the four Vedas? Does anyone know the names? Any, even if you know one, you can say.
Not
You can just
really.
unmute and say if you know any of the names.
Not really. I don't really know all of them, but
Okay, Sareen, go ahead.
yeah, I'll try.
I know one Samveda.
Sam Veda. Okay, yes, that is one of the Vedas. Anyone else? So there's Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. Okay, so there are four Vedas. Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, Atharva Ved. So they are the four original Vedas. They are very vast. Okay. After that comes, there are Upanishads. So there Vedanta Sutras are there, which makes the knowledge of the Vedas more easily understood. So there are Vedas, then there are Vedanta Sutras, there are Upanishads, and there are Puranas. Puranas have stories. Upanishads are like Gita. Gita is actually one of the Upanishads also. And Puranas is example is Bhagavad Puran, which is the Bhagavatam that we are doing. This one of the Puranas, and there are 11 main Upanishads, 11 to 18. The different sources say a little different as to what are the prominent Upanishads. Does anyone know a name of an Upanishad?
I'll try.
Go ahead.
Mm,
So there is Gita Upanishad, which is Bhagavad Gita. That's one of the Upanishads I just said. Any other Upanishad
okay.
you know about? Navya, maybe you know about one of the names of Upanishad? I can't hear you, Navya. I don't know if you're speaking. You can write it in the chat if your computer is not working. Yes, who is that? Tane is showing one of the Upanishads. That is correct. So that is good job. Sri Ishopnishad. So that's one of the Upanishads. Okay. So yes, so that is right. There is Ishopnishad. There are many other Upanishads like that.
Bhagavad,
Uh,
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita is one. Yes. And
But
Navya also said she was also saying going to say
but
about
one
Sri
Upanishad,
Ishopnishad. Now, there are
Upanishad,
four Vedas. There are we said there are four Vedas. There are Vedanta Sutras. There are Upanishads. We know a couple of names of them. We talked about Gita Upanishad. We talked about Sri Ishopanishad. And then there are Puranas, and we know one example of Puran is Bhagavatam Puran. There is also Shiv Puran, and like this, there are multiple Puranas, 108 Upanishads are there of this prominent, these 11, and then there are Puranas are there. So, uh, so this Srimad Bhagavatam was actually written after most of the other scriptures were written. Now, who wrote the scriptures? I think it's Anaya, I think, who also has. Okay, I'm going to rename you Anaya. Go ahead, Anaya. You want to say something?
Like Like Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the Puranas, right? So, who wrote all these? Anyone knows who wrote? Who's the writer of all these? Compiler of all these scriptures that we are talking about? The Vedas, Bhagavatam, all these Mahabharat. Sareen, go ahead.
Vedavyas.
Yes, Sri Ved Vyas. So he's also called Krishna Dwapayana Veda Vyas, or he is also a empowered incarnation of the God, which is Ved Vyas. And that's why, when we have programs, we have the speaker sit on a different chair than others, and that seat is called as a Vyas Asan in reverence to Vyas Dev, whose literature we are reading, whose uh, information given by him or written by him we are reading or discussing. So that is about Ved Vyas. So just that was just a little overview of the scriptures. And in those scriptures, we talk about little past. We are talking about two main epics that we have. What are the two main epics that we have? Epics are kind of stories or in the okay, Lisa can say one and Sareen can say one. Both have their hands up.
Bhagavad Gita.
No, but that is partly correct, and I'll tell you why later. Sareen,
Ramayan.
Ramayan. So one of the epic is Ramayana, and what is the other one? Lisa gave
The
a hint.
Mahabharat.
Mahabharat, yes, and Gita is part of Mahabharat because it
I was
comes
going
in
to
the during the Mahabharat it comes the Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita, so Mahabharat and Ramayana are the two main epics in our um, scriptures, and we should try to know the basic stories. All of you should know the basic pretext of Mahabharat. There are lots and lots of lessons that are there in it, and same about Ramayana. You should know the basic of what happened in Ramayana. There are again lots of lessons to learn during in Ramayana. Maybe later on, once we are done with the Krishna book, then we can start looking into these and discuss learnings from these wonderful scriptures. We should definitely know the stories, and then we can also know the details about things to learn. So when you're reading any book, there are different layers as to how you can read it. One is just reading it briefly, that is getting an overview, getting an idea about what actually happened, the story, what happened. So that's one level. Next level is going a little deeper into it and trying to understand that why something happened. Why did somebody do something? And third level is going further deeper into it and learning about what are the interpretations of a certain event given by our different acharyas or different people in our um, you know what we call a disciplic succession, or which is the seniors in the past who have read through this and have given their understandings. So going into those understandings. So there are different levels or layers in which you can read anything, be it any storybook also, there is in schools usually they have some readings, right? So you have some prescribed reading. You have to read this book for this summer or whatever. And same for book clubs, people have book clubs for the same reason. There is one thing is you just read through it and you know the story. Okay, this is what happened, this is a sequence of events. Then the next level is we start talking about, okay, so this character did this, why did they do this, or what is the thought behind it, or what does the writer want to say in this. And then third level is there are actually books written about books as to going deeper into it and understanding more deeply the way somebody is writing something, the all this. So so there are different layers of learning from the same knowledge. And in this case actually it is even deeper because this is not material knowledge, this is spiritual knowledge. Okay. I will briefly mention the three things because I'm going to wrap up and then start on the Krishna book then. is the three things that go from one body to another is we talked about. Anyone remembers? What are the three subtle elements? Sareen, go ahead. And Ananya, you can say one and then Sareen can say one.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, okay.
Mind.
Very good. Mind, intelligence. And anyone knows the third one?
Ego.
Anaya, go ahead.
Um, Happiness.
Okay. So the third one was false ego. Okay. So what do we mean by these? One is mind is that is the so when we are saying that the soul is we discussed this before, that the soul is what causes this body to be conscious. A difference between a dead body and a living person is that the soul has left the body when it's a dead body, right? So that soul has gone out, so that spark, that consciousness goes away, and that consciousness eventually, depending upon what activities they did in this life, they get another body in the next life. That can be a human body, or that may be some other body, depending upon their mind, what they have been thinking about throughout the life. And then intelligence, how were they, uh, what were they most focused upon during this life? What were they putting their mind and intelligence do during this life? And then false ego. False ego means thinking about me always. So the true ego is that I am a soul and I am part and parcel of Krishna, and I have a spiritual identity which is separate from Krishna, and my job is, my eternal position is to serve Krishna. So that is the true identity. That is, if somebody knows this, then that is the true identity. Everything else that I know about, quote unquote, myself in this life is false identity. Because why is it false? Because it is not that I'm so I say I'm Nirbhay Parashar. I'm Dr. Nirbhay Parashar. I'm a pediatric cardiologist. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I have a house here. I have a car here. Now, all this is false identity because it is true only for a very limited time. It's not that it is I'm lying, but this information is only applicable during this life. I have a brother, I have a wife, I have a daughter. This is only applicable to this life for a limited period of these, whatever, however may be my lifespan, right? I'm 40, 41 right now, so maybe I live to 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, who knows, right? But only for this much time, this identity is true. But I am an eternal being. I have been there in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says to Arjuna, there was never a time when you were not there, when I was not there, when all these kings were not there. So that means not just 1,000 years ago, not just 200 years ago, not just 10,000 years ago. You can't even imagine however back you may go, you were always there as the eternal soul. That was always there. So there's never been a time when you were not there. And there will never be a time when you will not be there. So uh, only temporarily we have these relationships, these identities, and that is why it is called as a transient, or that is not a perfect identity, that is false ego. Okay, so I think Ananya is giving me hints by showing me the Krishna book that we should start reading the Krishna book. Okay, let me share the screen. Um, so maybe next time, or maybe it's 5:47. Okay, maybe I will share the verse. The next verse I want to do is from Ishopnishad. So we learned a few verses, two, three verses from Bhagavad Gita. We have learned a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. And next time, what we will do is we will learn a verse from Sri Ishopnishad, the first verse of uh, Ishopnishad we will learn. Okay. We have learned a couple of verses from Srimad Bhagavatam actually. Anyone wants to recite the verse till I pull up the Krishna book and the Ishopanishad verse? Any verses that you remember you want to recite? You can just unmute and take turns and recite. I can't hear anyone speaking. You can just unmute and
Ishvara
start.
Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Another Radha Govinda
Sarvakarana Karana.
Sarvakaranam.
Very good. Anyone, the next person can say any other verse that you have remembered?
कृष्ण तो भगवान स्वयं इंद्राणी व्याकुलम लोकम जयन्ति युगे युगे.
Very bold, very good. Next person.
Nanya, you can start.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानं तदात्मान
Adharmasya.
धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्.
Very good.
यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजम् अहम्.
Okay. There are a couple of other verses
Last
that we have
one.
remembered.
Paritranaaya sadhunam vinashayata duskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
Very good. There are one or two other verses we have already remembered, if anyone knows. Janma Karma.
Yame divyam eva yuve
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वता.
I think you should practice a little more because that was
Tyaktva
only
Deham.
स्वादेवं
Punarjanma
जनपूर्वं
Naiti Mameti.
Arjuna.
So Arjuna. Okay, very good. So we did
We
about
still
that
haven't got the
also.
screen yet. I haven't got your screen yet.
Yes. Okay. Let me pull it up. Did we already say Ishvara Parama Krishna also? Did someone
Yes.
mention it?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And we
did.
said Ete Shamsha. So I think we have covered the verses that we have remembered till now. And you wanted to say something, Ananya?
Yes, what chapter are we on?
Okay, let me share the screen.
It's not still sharing.
Okay, can you see the screen now? It's chapter
One
7.
minute. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to switch gears a little bit and we are going to enter into the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So if you remember, last time we had discussed that Krishna had just entered, for the first volume, basically, we were reading about the birth of Krishna. We learned about the different demons that were sent to Vrindavan and the different pastimes of Krishna, the beautiful and wonderful pastimes of little Krishna and how he was growing up in Vrindavan and how he was so sweet, but at the same time, for the demons, he killed so many demons. And so he's a supreme lord. So his form doesn't really matter in terms of that how our strength is. How his strength is complete even in his little form. So we learned about all that, and then there was in this book we had started talking about how Kamsa finally Narada tells Kamsa about Krishna and Balram, and Kamsa now has sent a few other demons trying to bring Krishna back to Mathura, and finally Akrura comes, who is a devotee of Krishna, and he invites them based upon Kamsa's request to come to Mathura. And Kamsa has this cruel plan that he'll invite these two brothers to Mathura and eventually kill them, get them trampled by elephants or get them killed in wrestling match. And he has conducted a big fair for them to come to, so that he invited them to this big festival. And he has this cruel plan of killing them over here. And then in the last chapter, we read how A couple of chapters back, we read how the gopis were heartbroken when Krishna was leaving Vrindavan. And then last chapter, we read about Krishna, along with Balram and residents of Mathura, have come to Mathura. And then in Mathura, he meets various devotees. He meets the washerman who was not a devotee and was taught a lesson. And then he met Sudama, the garland maker. He met Kubja, the hunchback
Hunchback.
lady, and he had reciprocations with all these devotees. Now, the next chapter is chapter 7, killing the cruel King Kamsa. King Kamsa knew that he was in big trouble. The eighth son of Devaki, Krishna, was supposed to kill him, and he had finally come to Mathura. Kamsa knew he was going to die very, very soon. He could not sleep or even rest for the whole night. In the morning, the wrestling games began with the beating of drums. While the music played, some of the best wrestlers like Chanura, Mushtika, Shala, and Thoshala walked into the middle of the big arena. Everything else was nicely cleaned and decorated, with flags and flowers all around. Many kings had come to see the games. Kamsa sat in the middle of many other kings and ministers. Nand Maharaj and the cowherd men had come all the way from Vrindavan. They gave Kamsa delicious things they had brought him made from milk. Then they sat down by the king's side on a platform especially meant for them. For so many years, Kamsa had done so many wicked things to make sure he would be safe from Krishna, the one person who was supposed to kill him. He had put Krishna's family into prison. He had ordered soldiers to kill so many innocent little babies. He himself had personally killed all of Krishna's baby brothers. He had sent so many horrible demons to Vrindavan to torment the wonderful devotees living there. He had even arranged a special festival to trap and kill Krishna in Mathura. But even after he had done all these things, his heart was beating very fast in fear of dying, very much in fear of Krishna. So, what has happened? Talking about how Kamsa had called Krishna and Balram and his Nand Maharaj and everybody had come to Mathura, and Kamsa is very, very scared that he knows his end is near because eighth son of Devaki, which is Krishna, is now in Mathura, and all his plans in the past to try to kill Krishna have failed. He has tried right from the birth. He tried to kill Krishna. He already killed his other brothers, six brothers, and the seventh one, um, it was the Yog Maya. The seventh one was transferred to womb of Rohini unbeknownst to him, and then the Yog Maya flew and told that your killer has been born, and then Krishna sent soldiers to kill all the babies that were born around that time, and then he sent Putna to kill all the babies, and then he sent so many demons throughout the time to kill residents of Vrindavan and children and anybody who may be around that age who may be the killer of these demons and was destined to kill Kamsa. But all his plans had failed, so now he's very, very scared. Even though he has made this plan to kill them, he is still scared. When Krishna and Balram heard the drums beating, they hurried to see the fun at the wrestling arena. When they got there, they saw the biggest elephant they had ever seen. His name was Kuvalaya Pida, and it was standing right in the middle of the gateway, blocking the way in. The great elephant tried to catch Krishna with his long trunk, but Krishna very quickly jumped behind him and caught his tail. Krishna pulled and pulled. He dragged the elephant backwards from side that to that, just as he used to pull the tail of a calf when he was very small. Then Krishna went in front of the elephant and gave him a loud, strong slap. Whap! Quickly, Krishna jumped around him again and tripping the elephant over from behind. Quickly, Kuvalayapida tried to stab Krishna with his ivory tusks, but Krishna got up too fast and he missed. As soon as the elephant came close, Krishna caught his trunk and pulled him down hard. When the elephant and driver fell, Krishna jumped upon the elephant's back and broke it, killing the beast. Then he killed the driver. So, what happened? This huge elephant, the biggest elephant they had ever seen, Kuvalapida, he was standing on orders of Krishna at the gates of Mathura. So when they tried to enter the palace or the wrestling arena, then they were faced with this mad elephant, huge elephant who was trying to kill Krishna. He tried to hold Krishna by his trunk, but Krishna jumped and then he tried to trample him. And then Krishna just went back, jumped back, caught his tail, and moved him around like as if he was playing with a little calf. And pushed him to the side. And then and then the elephant tries to kill him with his tusks. And then Krishna jumps to the side and jumps on top of the elephant and breaks his back and then kills the elephant driver who was as mercilessly trying to kill these two young kids. So this is the picture. As soon as the elephant came close, Krishna caught his trunk and pulled him down hard. When the elephant and driver fell, Krishna jumped on the elephant's back and broke it, killing the beast. You can see how big is this elephant. That's the elephant driver. This is Krishna holding the elephant's trunk. It's Lord Balram is watching there, and everybody else is running hither thither because of this mad elephant. All the coward boys jumped up and down in excitement and clapped for joy, shouting, Jai! All glories to Krishna! All glories to Krishna, the killer of the big elephant demon. After killing Kuvalayapida, Krishna pulled out one of his huge ivory tusks and swung it upon his shoulder. Lord Balram took the other tusk on his shoulder. Then they went into the wrestling arena together with all the cowherd boyfriends. So they took a souvenir from from this huge elephant who was trying to kill them. That it is a act showing that he has overpowered, that they have overpowered this huge dangerous elephant who was trying to kill them. So it's a warning to others not to try anything bad, otherwise they are going to suffer the same fate. After killing Kuvalayapida, Krishna pulled out one of we already did this, so they are going with inside with the tusks of the elephant. As Krishna walked in, the wrestlers thought he looked as strong as a thunderbolt. Most of the people there thought he was the most beautiful person they had ever seen. To the ladies, he was a very beautiful boy. The cowherd men saw Krishna as their dear lifelong friend and brother from Vrindavan. The king there thought Krishna looked like the strongest of all kings. Nand Maharaj and Mother Yashoda thought of Krishna as their most loving child. Great yogis and saints saw him as the super soul in the hearts of all living creatures. And King Samsa, who had been afraid of Krishna for a long, long time, saw Krishna as death personified. Many bands played music to start the games. The best wrestler, Chanura, walked up to Krishna and Balram. My dear Krishna and Balram, you are very wonderful. So this is the wrestling match. It's a picture. This is King Kamsa sitting on top, and these are the big wrestlers, Chanura and Mushtika. Those were the names. They were very big, huge wrestlers. Nobody was able to withstand them. And they were now going to ask Krishna and Balram to fight them. It made no sense because, think about huge, biggest people you have seen. These people were 10 times bigger than them, that biggest person you may have seen. And they were challenging these 12, 13-year-old boys, 12-year-old boys for a wrestling match to death. But whoever wins will kill the other person. So this was very, very scary. huge, big guy, people who have been training their whole life to kill other people, just trying to fight these 12-year-old boys from Vrindavan. So, the beauty is here in this last page is that everybody is seeing Krishna in their own moods, right? The mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj see them as little kids, their loving child. His friends are seeing them as their friends. The ladies are seeing him as the most wonderful and most beautiful boy. The yogis are seeing him as the super soul who is present in everyone. So they know his more real identity, closer identity. So, uh, okay, so that's the picture. Then the king and all the people here wanted to see you wrestle at these games. So the Chanura, the huge wrestler, is coming and saying to Krishna that everyone wants to see you wrestle at these games. We have heard that you like wrestling with your friends while you take care of your cows and forests. Kindly wrestle with us for everyone's pleasure. Krishna said, we do love to wrestle, but we are only young boys. In Vrindavan, we love to play with our village friends who are small boys like us. But you are very big wrestlers and much older. No one here will think it is fair that you're wrestling with boys as small as we are. Right? That makes sense. Shanura replied, but my dear Krishna, we all know that you are not just any small boy. You are very different from any of the other children, and so is your big brother Balram. You have already killed the big mad elephant Kuvalyapida in such a wonderful way. Because you are so strong, you can fight with the strongest wrestlers. So please wrestle with me, and your older brother Balram can wrestle with Mushtika. So Krishna and Balram wrestled with Chanura and Mushtika. They were locked together hand to hand, leg to leg, head to head, and chest to chest. They punched and pushed each other from place to place. They caught and threw one another down on the ground. One rushed forward to hold the other down, and one picked the other up. They dragged and pushed each other from one side of the games arena to the other. But all people were watching knew that it was not a fair fight. Krishna and Balram, after all, were just young boys, and everyone was in great anxiety. Lord Krishna, knowing that everyone was worried about him, did not waste any more time. He punched Chanura very hard 3 times with his fist. Then he caught Chanura's folded hands and wheeled his huge body around and around and threw him down dead on the ground. All of Chanura's valuable bangles and jewelries fell scattered here and there in the dirt around him. So this is uh, this one was Krishna fighting with Chanura. Huge guy, but Krishna overpowered him easily. And then this was Balram fighting with Mushtika. At the same time, Balram hit and kicked Mushtika so hard that blood and vomit came out of his mouth. Mushtika fell down dead, just as a tree falls down in a storm. So many more great wrestlers came up to fight, but Krishna and Balram killed them all. Other wrestlers began running away, afraid for their lives. All the cowherd boys ran up to their wonderful friends, clapping and saying, well done, all glories to Krishna, all glories to Balram. The drums played loudly, and everyone talked about how perfectly Krishna and Balram wrestled, while their ankle bells sweetly tinkled. Only King Kamsa did not clap. He was not happy at all. Kamsa did not even like to hear the drums playing when Krishna had won the games. The king's best wrestlers were badly beaten and killed, while others had run away. Stop the drum playing! Stop the music! He shouted. By my order, these 2 sons of Vasudev should leave Mathura right now. Catch the coward boys and kill Nanda Maharaj for hiding Krishna and Balram. Kill this Vasudev and my father Ugrasen. Lord Krishna could not hear the terrible way Kamsa was talking. In a second, he jumped up to the king's throne, caught him, and knocked the crown off his head. He grabbed him by his long hair and dragged him down to the wrestling arena. Krishna threw the demoniac king on the ground, sat on the chest, and hit him over and over again until Kamsa lay there dead. So Kamsa was acting even more afraid, and he wanted to kill Nand Maharaj and Devaki and Krishna's parents. And he was such a mean person. He was trying to kill everybody that loved Krishna. And what did Krishna do? He could no longer bear this, so he jumped on towards the area of the throne, pulled him down, threw the crown off his head, pulled Kamsa down, and then sat on his chest in the wrestling arena and punched him again and again on his chest until Kamsa finally died. Kamsa was always waiting for Krishna and had thought about him 24 hours a day. He never stopped thinking about the eighth son of Devaki, Krishna, who would kill him one day. He thought only about Krishna while he was eating, when he was walking, when he was riding, standing, sitting, working. Because he was always thinking so intensely about Krishna, Kamsa got freed from the cycle of birth and death and went back home, back to Godhead. Krishna dragged the king's body all around the arena for everyone to see that the demon Kamsa was really dead. Almost everyone shouted very happily, "All glories to Krishna! All glories to Krishna!" But some people were angry, especially Kamsa's 8 brothers and a few demoniac friends who wanted to kill Krishna. So Balram used the elephant tusks he was carrying and killed Kamsa's 8 brothers one after another. After Krishna and Balram killed the wicked king Kamsa and all the other demons, the demigods showered flowers while their wives danced for joy. In this way, Krishna kept his promise. He came just to kill the evil kings who were disturbing the world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Yes, so Krishna kept his promise, right?
He always keeps his
Krishna
promise.
always keeps his promises.
He never breaks them.
So this is the wonderful
Kahoot,
pastime of when Krishna finally kills Kamsa, and you see how beautifully he did that. I will quickly share the verse that I want to do for next time. We will just recite it a couple of times and then I'll post it in the group and then you can try remembering it over time. Okay. You want to do this one or the first? Let's do the first verse, not even it's called as the invocation mantra of Ishamnishad. It's not even the first verse. We'll do this. It's a very, very auspicious verse. And it talks, again, just like we have been reading on other verses, about Krishna, basically. So it reads like, it has very similar words again and again. So it's not that difficult to remember. Okay. So you can recite behind me. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam.
Om
You can recite. Unmute and recite. I can't hear anyone. Can you see the screen? What happened? I can't hear anyone. Is anyone speaking?
Om
My volume is full.
Purnamidam.
Okay.
Right.
Still can't hear you all.
Om
Maybe I'll
Purnamada.
stop sharing once and see. Maybe that helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I still can't hear anyone. Don't know what happened. Maybe I'll stop the recording. Maybe that will change something. Let's see. More pause recording.